My name is Amy Borg.
And who are you, Amy? What do you do?
Let's see here. That's a loaded question. I was a television. I made up TV shows for about 20 years.
What kind of shows?
Reality TV shows. I was at Lifetime for 3 years.
Bit like this, then.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Kidding.
So no, I was in LA for 10 years, and then I was in Toronto for 8, and then I just moved back here last year.
Okay.
So now I do a bunch of different stuff. You know.
Now, do you have children?
I do. I have a just turned 9.
So one child just turned 9.
Yes.
Now, when you were pregnant with him, were you an anti-vaxxer?
No.
What do you think of people who didn't vaccinate?
Everything. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it. I researched. I had my birth plan. I was going to do that all natural. I had all this kind of stuff, like, you know, figured out, but I just did not pay any attention to vaccines. It didn't even occur to me to research that. You know, I mean, I was looking into, of course, organic pajamas and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't even occur to me to do it. So he had a traumatic birth. They had to use forceps to pull him out. And, but, you know, they said, do you want to give him the Hep B? And I was like, well, I guess so. You know, I mean, why not? And so, anyway.
Did you even know what the Hep B was?
No, didn't explain it, nothing. Didn't, and I'm a researcher, like, that's, so, I mean, like, this still kills me. It still kills me. So, anyway, things were going fine, and he was good, but he got really sick after his 4-month vaccines. And I was so sleep deprived that I didn't pay attention to it. I just have this vague memory of saying, oh, I'm back in the doctor's office again.
Right.
You know, like within a week. And so I didn't pay much attention to it. And then, but he did. He got really sick, the whole respiratory thing, you know, from DTaP. And
are you realizing it this time?
No, now I do. When looking back, again, I was so sleep deprived. Yeah. He was 4 months old. You know, I mean, I'm trying to figure all this out. I'm a new mom. And so, I mean, like he got really, really sick. It got scary. And, but they never mentioned that it could have possibly been a side effect of the vaccinations. Right. And so then we went ahead and gave him his 6-month vaccines. And I don't even really remember anything much happening. If I go back and look, it says he got really pale and lethargic and all this kind of stuff.
You wrote that or he wrote that?
I wrote that down. And so I just told my husband, for no other reason, just mother's instinct, Holy Spirit, I said, let's stop. I said, let's just stop until he's 2 years old. Like, that was my thing. You know, let's just wait until, you know, everything else, until he's 2. And my husband, thank God, trusted me and was like, okay, sure. But I didn't have, like, a concrete reason to believe that. He didn't, he was developing normally in many other ways physically, but he didn't with communication and everything. And so by the time he was 15, 17 months, we were like, something's up. And we ended up getting the diagnosis pretty early for autism. And so for that point, I didn't do any more vaccinations because I was like, let's just figure out what's going on with him, you know. And then, you know, you start to actually research it, and then you're like, holy, you know, I can't even believe all of this. So fast forward, we started treating him. He was doing great with diet and everything. I mean, just sweetest, happiest little boy in the world until 2014, when on January 1st, he had his first grand mal tonic-clonic seizure.
What do you think brought that on?
I don't know.
Because you stopped vaccinating.
I'd stopped vaccinating. Well, the doctors are actually not shocked because we had noticed absent seizures before.
Right.
But we didn't do anything about it. Well, I mean, like we were in Toronto at the time, and so we went to go see a neurologist, but you know, they were just absent seizures, so they weren't, you know, they were like, you know, he might just grow out of them, and there was no cause for panic. And then on January 1st, he had his first massive seizure.
Petrifying.
I'm still dealing with the post-traumatic stress. And then they put us on seizure meds, and that was a completely other horrible nightmare. They almost killed him. And so...
And that's important. That's a really important statement that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
We hear from so many parents that the seizure meds...
Almost killed them.
Almost killed their kids.
Yeah, we went through 2 years of complete and utter hell. My sweet little boy turned into this violent rage monster that didn't eat and didn't sleep. And I'm going to all these doctors, you know, and I mean, like, we were in Toronto, like, we went to some of the best doctors, you know, I mean, in the world. I mean, like, Sick Kids Hospital is world famous. And we finally got a neurologist there. And, I mean, like, he stopped sleeping, he stopped eating, it was terrifying. and he was getting thrown out of school, and he was extremely violent, which was not his normal sense. So we finally got him onto cannabis oil, and
Is that legal here?
yes, if you have a pediatrician for children.
Okay.
And so, and I always have to tell people, oh, he's on it legally, because we actually, in Canada, we were threatened with DHS when we said he was on cannabis oil. And we're in Canada, it's legal there. But they didn't ask about the seizure meds, which haven't been tested on children, but, they wanted to see a prescription for his cannabis, which is just crazy. So anyway, once we got him off the seizure meds, he was fine. But the important thing is this was 2014. So that was when the measles thing happened. Now, I had already decided I wasn't going to give him, I wasn't going to give him any more vaccinations.
What do you mean by the measles thing?
The Disneyland,
the
Disneyland, outbreak. Measles happened in 2014, and when we were going to these doctors, I had made a joke at some point. I was like, oh great, now I've got measles to worry about, while we're trying to deal with all these seizures, which I wasn't scared of the measles, but I just made a joke. And my neurologist said, you need to be a lot more afraid of the MMR than you do of the measles.
Good for a neurologist.
And so we have documentation of the top pediatric neurologist that the DTaP is what hurt my child.
Mm-hmm.
He has, you go through the side effects. That's a checklist of everything that he has. So, we have, medical professionals saying that. And we didn't have the medical exemption until that point. And so, after he said that, I had, mentioned to him, I said, well, we should probably give him a medical exemption then. And they were like, you don't have one? And I said, no, nobody has ever brought that up to me. And he was 5 at this point. So if I had to vaccinate him to get him into school, I probably would have gone, okay, fine, let's go ahead and do that. Because I had not had any doctor ever tell me that this could be a problem. And so now I have medical exemptions from multiple doctors, because they're like, no, any kind of vaccine will kill him. And, so it's one of those, they keep talking about these immunocompromised kids out there somewhere. Well, you know what? Vaccines made my kid immunocompromised, and I can't vaccinate him or he will die. And he has a medical exemption now. So, he's safe at this point. But these legislators need to know that kids will die.
Now, how is your child doing today?
He is doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better. We still have challenges. Fully has autism, but he is talking. He's back to the sweet, happy boy he was.
What's his future like?
I don't know.
Are you concerned?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, we don't have anybody he's the only child. We don't have anybody that's going to take care of him once we're gone.
How vulnerable is he?
Very. Very, because he doesn't know danger, so he's a flight risk. And, and if he runs off somewhere, he's not going to say, my name is Bobby, and, it's terrifying. And, and we still have to worry about any damage from seizures. And, they're controlled now, but they, you still have breakthrough ones, and you don't know when suit up could hit. So.
What's your did you know moment to other parents? Because you didn't know that your child could have any of these conditions. So what is your did you know to that young parent watching that's about to go and take her child for all the same vaccines you took your son for?
I didn't. I honestly, that's the thing. I can't remember if one friend posted something on Facebook about vaccines, but I'd never seen any other thing. And
right, so you didn't know, but what is your advice to someone else?
My gosh!
Did you know that this could?
And that's another thing too.
That's another thing too.
My son, we stopped him at 6 months. He'd already had 20 doses, and my sister has lupus, and so if you have autoimmune in your family, which my doctors, the pediatricians knew this. And they did not know. And the neurologists who, I'm sorry, they know more than the pediatric neurologists know more than your average pediatrician or anesthesiologist, that if you have autoimmunity, he should never have been on that kind of aggressive schedule at all. And they didn't know. The doctors did not know this.
I wonder if do you know this, peeps? Do pediatric neurologists get backhanders from Do they even vaccinate pediatric?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
They seem to be a lot kinder and more open.
Well, they see it more. They see the seizure. I mean, 1 in 20 kids have seizures now.
Pediatricians are just downright liars, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Bar Dr. Franz and a few others. But, I don't know enough about pediatric
that was him
neurologists.
before.
Oh, wow. Look at that little cutie. Look at him.
I mean, just the sweetest, happiest little boy.
How dare they do that to this beautiful baby? How dare they?
And that's the thing that kills me too, is that even when you try to talk about it and people are like, well, we'll just agree to disagree. I'm like, do you realize you're saying that what happened to my child is okay? You know, I mean, like,
yeah.
Do you realize that you're just saying, you know, your child suffers every day, but that's okay?
Some mother told me that a doctor actually told, a pediatrician actually told her, listen, someone has to take one for the team. You know, the 1 in a million. Someone has to do it, and it just so happened to be yours.
Wow. I mean, that's the lottery, the Hunger Games. I mean, like, that's literally coming to life.
This bus alone shows that 1 in a million
rare.
is total BS.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's not rare. I did want to say one other thing, because I did see that Jenny McCarthy was on there. So, I was a television...
Yeah.
I was a television producer out in California, worked crazy hours. You know, I never got to sit down and watch Oprah. And for some reason, I can't even remember why. I happened to see the Oprah where she was on. And so I knew too, and I mean, talk about a God moment, when she said that autism is reversible, it's treatable. So when it happened, I didn't have to then go to doctors who were just going to give me drugs that, you know, for these kids or whatever. I knew that there was stuff that you could do to detox, to, you know, to actually treat. And I mean, like, for some reason that just stuck in my brain. Why I saw that, you know, however many years ago when I wasn't married, I wasn't even thinking of children. I didn't see anything about, I mean, unfortunately the vaccine part didn't, but at least when this diagnosis came down, I was like, okay, at least I know there's something I can. So.
I don't know that you can completely reverse autism, but I know that you can make their lives.
Right, that's what
better.
she said on the show. You know, so I mean, like, at least that's what stuck in my head was that, okay, I can do something. Yeah, but trust me.
I just worry, you know, when parents do really well and their kids are like 9 or something, and they get their labels taken away, and then puberty kicks in, and I'm afraid that these parents, you know, I don't know. I just,
I know
be
parents.
Careful, as I said, be careful.
Yeah, no, I know parents who recovered their kids and then lost them again at puberty. So I know that, but I mean, I'm just saying that's what she said on that show. That stuck in my mind, that I was like, okay, there is something we can do to treat.
I'm amazed how having Jenny McCarthy and Donnie on this bus I've had so many emails of people saying that it lifted them up. Hugely lifted them up.
Right.
So that was a good one then. We want people lifted up. Now, is there anything else you want to say? Are you still a producer?
I do some freelance work. I'm developing a podcast right now, and then I also sell coffee.
Weight loss coffee?
Yeah.
Okay, where can people find out about your weight loss coffee? Where do they go?
SkinnyCoffeeOK.com.
Skinny coffee. Okay.
I'll give you a sample.
Okay. I had a bit of a crazy experience on too much coffee over the weekend, so but
sure.
maybe.
No, I'm teasing, but yeah, no, I'm developing a podcast as well, and I do some freelance advertising work now that I'm back here.
Wonderful. All right, anything else you want to say to the peeps?
No.
I'm sending you lots of love and heart.
Love you.
Okay, I'm really behind on interviews.
Okay.
So am I? No,
yes.
fine. Okay. So
Yes.
right, okay.
Okay.
I'm back to you guys.
I told her I wouldn't be long.
Were we long?
I said I told Eliza I wouldn't be long.
But were we long?